Degenerate? Calm down. The hottest man is on screen right now. Just calm down. Chest. 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 You can't hide it from me. Chest. Nightfall creeps across the streets of Iridia. The city, labyrinthine, never seen that word, even in daytime, has become a warren of treacherous alleyways. Alright, oh, this beat is sick. The streets are completely deserted. If I hadn't been here earlier, I would have thought this part of the city was abandoned. I make my way through the winded streets, doing my best to keep my bearing towards the Wet Wick. Ooh, what did I just step on? My steps slow when I hear rustling in the dark. I strain my ears, but everything is still. Is the silence playing tricks on me? I'm gonna say something is wrong. I don't think I'm back in Iridia. Ground is squishy? The fine hairs on the back of my neck prickle. A frisson of discomfort running down my spine. Something is wrong. Should I be saving? My eyes dart from one side of the street to the other, searching for movement, but the shadows are as deep and dark as pools of ink, and I see nothing. I can't stay here. I need to reach the busier part of the city. Drawing my cloak tighter around my body, I hurry on my way. Though I keep my eyes sharp and listen intently, there's only the sound of my own footsteps. As the moments pass and nothing happens, I begin to wonder. Maybe I really did imagine that noise. I turn the next corner and my thoughts come screaming to a halt. My head spins, the world blurring as adrenaline rushes through my veins. Only one thing is clear amidst the haze. Oh my gosh! Why? The Soulless that attacked the caravan. It's crouched over a dark, indistant shape. A body? A garland of intestines spills from pallid flesh. Blood grouts the cobblestones for mercy. The Soulless is too distracted by its meal to have noticed me. My feet feel as heavy as stones, but I can't just stand here. Holding my breath, I take a step backwards. When the wet, slurping sounds don't abate, I take another, then another.
Bruh.
Out of all the things, we couldn't just step on more squishy ground, we had to step on glass. The world seems to slow to a crawl as the whole Soulless raises its head. Blood dripping from its tendrils, every single one of its bulging eyes fixed unblinkingly on me. It's really here. It's come back for me. What else? I'm gonna sit here and do nothing? Yes, run. I'm off like a shot, running for my life through the darkened streets. Behind me, a piercing bass splits the silence and heavy footsteps pound after me. My heart thunders in my chest. I take turns at random, trying to lose it in the maze of streets, but I can't seem to shake it. I can hear its breathing now, a wet, fluttering rasp, growling closer and closer. This thing just does not, give up. The same claws that severed my arm swipe out. I duck, saved by pure reflex, and skid around a corner. I take 3 running strides before the bottom drops out of my stomach. A wall twice as high as me bars my way, a dead end. When I turn around, the Soulless looms in the entry in the alleyway. It's no longer running, it doesn't have to. As it prowls closer, my thoughts race. Some of the buildings lining the streets are lit. There must be people inside. It's a long shot, but Try the nearest door. I'm gonna try the nearest door. I feel like screaming is not gonna do anything, because I learned at school in an ELA class that even if you scream for help, people will like not do anything. They'll be like, oh, someone else will do it, and then the next person will be like, someone else will do it, and then the next person will be like, oh, someone else will do it, and it's a continuous cycle of someone being like, oh, someone else will do it, and then no one then ends up fucking doing it. So I'm just gonna open the nearest door. That's why they tell you to scream fire if you're being... So... Lovely how the society works. I whirl, grabbing at the handle of the closest door. I turn completely, the hinges creaking as I push, and I feel a flash of hope before a weight hits me. I gotta crack my knuckles. Crack! Before the weight hits me, it hits the door from the other side, and it slams shut. The click of the lock turning is grimly final. In this wretched world, a few people will stick their neck out to help their own flesh and blood, never mind a stranger. Like I said. The Soulless gives a rasping hiss. It's the only warning I get before it lunges for me, with a flash of claws. I thought I was inside. I hurl myself to the side, but the slick cobblestones betray me. I fall, sprawling over the rough stone. As the Soulless looms over me, I scramble away from it until my back hits the wall. There's nowhere left to go. It descends on me for the kill. No way! But the impact never comes. Yeah, thank goodness. Who saved me? I wearily crack one eye open, then the other, not sure whether I should believe what I'm seeing. A hooded figure crouches in front of me, one blood-stained hand outstretched. Oh my.
She's pretty, SpongeBob.
Moonlight silvers the edge of their stiletto knife. Their face and hands are splattered with blood, and the Soulless. My eyes dart past my unexpected rescuer to the misshapen form behind them. The Soulless, many eyes, once restless and vibrant, now look dull and waxy. A red pool spreads slowly from under its body. That thing has regular blood? Like it's not purple? Numb with shock, I can't help but stare. It's dead. After all the people it's killed. After nearly killing me twice. I can hardly believe it. Well? I feel like that's what his voice was sounding. I gingerly take the offered hand. The stranger's gaze dips to my bandages. Pale lips part on the brink of a question, then close again. With the strength belaying their slight frame, they pull me to my feet. Something about them is strange, unlike any human or monster I've ever met. I can't quite place my finger on why. As soon as I'm on my own 2 feet again, they pull away from me and start wiping the blood from their hands. Their face and hands. You're so tiny. Stay there. They turn away from me stiffly, leaning over the Soulless's gangy body. Gangly. With their back towards me, I realized that I saw their hooded silhouette at the cenobium. You were at the cenobium. You saved me. You're shorter than I thought. I don't think we should ever let it be known that someone is small. So let's just point out that he was at the cenobium. I've seen you before. You were at the cenobium earlier, weren't you? They cast a worried look at me. So what if I was? Their harsh response takes me aback. Before I can formulate a response, they continue. What are you thinking, traveling alone at night? This is far from the worst thing haunting Lowtown. I can't make heads or tails of them. First they save me, and now they scold me? Lesson learned. I could do without the lecture, though. To my surprise, they break eye contact. Their attention glides back to the soulless corpse. They examine it with an inscrutable expression. I clear my throat to fill the silence. I'm degenerate. Min. He doesn't have to get all, angry with me. Suddenly, Min tenses. Their blade flashes as they drive it into the back of the Soulless's neck. The Soulless thrashes once, letting out a rattling hiss as the air leaves its lungs. Min leans on the blade, driving it deeper and deeper until there's a sickening crunch, and the creature goes limp. My heart thuds in my chest. It must have been clinging to life by a thread. Min straightens up, withdrawing their blade in a single smooth motion. Better to put wretched things like this out of their misery. They calmly clean the blood from their knife. I swallow, my eyes still glued to the cooling corpse. Why is the Soulless inside the city? Min looks at me, eyes searching before realization dawns. You're new here. There's no walls around the city. Soulless can come and go as they please until someone is contracted to stop them. The Cenobium's patrons don't bother to protect Lowtown. Not anymore. Let me guess, you're not a fan of the Cenobium? I wouldn't go that far. Their brow butly furrows and they sheath their knife, motioning for me to follow them. It's not safe here. The vultures can smell death. I'm not quite sure what they mean, but I don't want to stay lost in this city. I trail behind them as they stride down the streets. If it's so dangerous, then why are you helping me? I came for the bounty on that Soulless, and you were in the way. Not killing you isn't the same as helping you. Don't count on being so lucky again, or you'll be dead by sunrise. Their answer is stingingly harsh. You know what? Fine. I just need to find my lodgings. Let's do that one, because I don't like the first one. I hold my hands up, trying to forestall any more snippy comments. Alright, I get it. I'd love to get out of your way, but I'm sort of lost. I just need directions back to my lodgings. What makes you think I'll help you? You've already helped me once tonight, why not a second time? It seems to catch them off guard. Their brow knits, and they look away scowling. How troublesome. Degenerate? Calm down. The hottest man is on screen right now. Just calm down. I turn, surprised by the voice. Karas walks down the street towards us. His white and gold clothing is pristine, despite the grim of the city. Hello, Min. I see that Soulless was your work. Min shrugs. There's a familiarity to the way that they regard each other. You know them, Karas? I didn't know you had friends, Min. Don't be mean, don't be mean, don't be mean. I'm not gonna be mean to Min, but I'm gonna ask if they know them, yes. Do you know them, Karas? Min is a freelancer who has done a few errands for me. They are quite reliable. Unreliable freelancers don't eat. Degenerate needs to get back to wherever they're staying before they wander into the jaws of another Soulless. It is late. Were you able to find a place to stay, Degenerate? I'm staying at the Wet Wick. Why don't you join me? I mean, I know you probably have a great bed, but mine is probably just as comfortable. Both their faces fall. I see. Would you like a guide? It might be preferable to wandering about alleyways. That would be nice. Is it gonna be you? Min clicks their tongue and sighs, sounding mightily put out. Come, this way. Despite Min's clear distaste, when Karas leads me down the street, they keep pace with us. Catching my curious glance, Min's eyes narrow. It's not safe this late. I don't care about you, but Karas is the only doctor worth a damn in this place. Are you like this with everyone? The deadpan look Min gives me is answer enough. I catch Karas hiding a slight smile. You're so beautiful. Oh my gosh. You really need to stay with me. Forever and ever. I suppress a sigh and resign myself to having a grumpy shadow all the way back to the Wet Wick. I almost keep mistaking Wet Wick for Wet Lick. The route Karaz takes is completely different from my slow meandering early in the morning. In no time at all, he cuts through darkened streets and twisted alleyways. It seems like half the city has poured into the Amaryllis district's colorful streets. Laughter, clinking glasses, and music assault my ears from every direction. Yet the most noise still comes from the Wet Wick, as stores hang wide open, lanterns lit. Here we are. He moves toward the door, and Min lets out an audible huff. Don't tell me you're going in. I have some quick business with Leander. Ugh, fine. He still owes me for yesterday's work. They drag their feet, reluctantly trailing me into the tavern. I bet, Veer's gonna be in there too. Everyone just in one place while we meet, you know? Please don't let me be right. As soon as the doors open, a wave of sticky heat rolls over me. In the hours since I left, the wick has grown suffocatingly crowded. Karaz stands out, easily a head taller than most. I love it. We find every way to describe how tall he is. Any opportunity we get, describe how tall he is. He's the tallest man in the room. He's so tall and beautiful. He's everything I've been wanting in, the world. I love it. It's my favorite thing so far. Even so, I nearly lost sight of him amid the sea of swarming bodies. Pardon me. I feel like his voice, I'm trying to give him like Lotor from Voltron or Alucard from Castlevania. The crowd parts as though answering his request. Karaz glances over his shoulder at Min and me before gliding through. How can anyone breathe in here? Min follows Karaz at a clipped pace. Hello. You're someone I like slightly. I slightly enjoy your presence. But you are a bit of a harlot. Probably the best one in this town, huh? He's got the skills to pay the bills, since everything is free. Leander is right where I left him. Although he's traded places with the bartender, he holds a pair of shot glasses filled to the brim with luminous green liquid. And now for the finishing touch. A flash of magic paints the glasses white with frost. You're never gonna guess what's in these. Leander slides the glasses across the bar, and I get my third and fourth shocks of the evening in rapid succession. What in the actual? Iys leans against the bar, an elbow propped up on the corner. He catches the glass and lifts one to the light before turning it upside down. The contents magically congealed, staying firmly in place. You're supposed to make drinks, pretty boy. Don't tell me you're wasted already. I f***ing knew it! I f***ing knew it. I'm a genius. I'm too smart for these people. I need to give a Nobel Prize. I'm so smart. They're all in the same place. Let's go. My room is $3.99 for anybody who has their chest out right now. Right now. He's here? No leash. Interesting. I feel like his hand should be holding a pipe, but a girl can dream. Veer, perched on the bar's counter beside Iys, takes a single look at the shot glass and shakes his head. I forgot what voice I gave him. Oh wait, okay, I know. What have we here? A bucket full of boogers? Leander's nose treasure? You've eaten worse. What is he eating? Veer's lips twitch and his ears flatten when Iys offers him a glass. He turns his cheek with a sniff and Iys just snickers. Coward. Don't tell me you're actually... In one fluid motion, Iys throws his head back and downs the shot. Drinking that. A dark look crosses Iys' face. It's chewy. A drink should not be chewy. Chewy? Wait, let me try again. I kind of want his voice to be like Belmont from Castlevania, but I am not good with voices. Behind me, Min grumbles. I told you this place was a nest of degenerates. Hey, that's my name. He did it. He said my name. If it isn't Karas and Min. At the sound of Leander's voice, Min's pale eyes grow wide. They look ready to bolt until Karas sets a hand on their shoulder. I promise this will not take long. He's so pretty. Min's eyes dart from Karas's hand to his face, then soften. Fine, you first. While they step forward, I linger behind, struck by a sudden revelation. All the people I've met today know each other. Don't they? Good evening, Leander. Iys. Another drinking competition, I presume? This is like... Oh, is it evening already? I could have sworn it was earlier. This guy is a blushing master. Just some friendly rivalry, Doctor. Nothing to be afraid of. Karas acknowledges Leander and Iys with a slightest nod, ignoring Veer entirely. Not that Veer seems to mind. I forgot that they don't like each other. Or at least I know that Veer doesn't like Karas. So... Hello? I'm sorry. He tilts his head, and an impish smile curves his lips when he spots Min looming silently behind Karas. I almost didn't see you there, Min. Looking for your booster seat? Why is he such a bitch and a half? Oh my gosh. Min pushes back their hood. They level Veer with a cool look. I thought Iys wasn't allowed to bring his pets in here. Veer's tail gives an angry twitch. What? You can't... You can serve, but you can't... Wait. You can dish it out, but you can't... You know what? Never mind. He can give it, but he can't take it. Is that... No, that's worse. That's bad. That was terrible. Let's move on. Uh-oh. I'm literally... I can't. I'm gonna, like, fall. I'm sorry. At the first sign of an impending fight, Leander vaults clear over the counter. He slides in between Iys and Karas. Now, let's try to keep the peace. It's not every day the esteemed doctor takes us up on a drink. His arm snakes around Karas's shoulders. You're finally taking me up on that drink, right, Karas? I'm afraid not. We're merely escorting Degenerate back to their lodgings. I thought you were supposed to join me. What's going on? Karas gestures in my direction, and my stomach sinks. I reluctantly step into the light. As soon as he sees me, Leander's face brightens. He likes me. Interesting. Degenerate! It's been too long. Everyone, this is Degenerate. They're new to Iridia. I think they all know me. I'm well known. Just like you are, Leander. I feel 5 pairs of eyes fix onto me, and suddenly the bar feels suffocatingly small. My voice nearly catches in my throat. We've already met. Let's say hi again. Just be nice. Leander's being nice. Everyone's being nice. Just be nice. Hi everyone. Again? Wait. You've already met everyone? I have actually. This one. I'm kidding, I'm sorry. I like the way he's drawn in this picture. I'm sorry. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted. I'm so sorry. Iys and Veer level me with subtly amused expressions. Veer's tail gives a lazy wag. We did. Not that long ago either. I'm starting to suspect they're stalking me. You are not that fucking important. He looks far too pleased with himself when I roll my eyes. Yeah, he's a little mischievous one. Let me do this real quick. Look at this. Fruity. There's a waist here, right? Corset. Slender legs. Fruity. Fruit basket. The whole fruit cake. Chest. You can't hide it from me. Chest. This is technically a corset. High-waisted. These little ribbons here, it gives, yeah, very alluring. The baggy top shirt. We're breaking these things down. We're breaking them down. You see that? This right here? This is enough to make me go insane. You see this right here? Potential. I think we all know what I'm talking about. That strap on his, you can't see it, but there's a strap here, and there's supposed to be a strap like right here. And he likes being tied up, doesn't he? He said that before. Yeah. This one too, look. Belt, long chain, earrings, pointy, This is amazing. We're gonna have fun. When this comes out, I will pay anything. Any amount of money. I'm good. $15, $25. I don't care. As long as I can have this one all to myself, any price. This. What's happening here? Did you punch a wall or something? Little angry little thing. Probably the tsundere type. We're gonna move on. I'm done to, like, breaking their characters down. I really did all that for what? Alright, let's just continue. This calls for drinks. What does everyone want? In an instant, all eyes turn to Leander, freeing me from the burden of attention. I still can't believe they all know each other. Watching them talk amongst themselves feels surreal. But for the first time since I undertook the journey to Iridia, I felt a faint glimmer of hope. I know I was meant to meet them. Yeah, we were. The low, pleasant rumble of Leander's laughter pulls me from my restless thoughts. Ha! Well, color me surprised. You make friends fast, degenerate. I wouldn't go that far. More like acquaintances. And then we upgrade to friends. And then we upgrade to lovers. And then, from then on, it's a surprise. A wise man once said that acquaintances are merely friends who haven't shared a drink with yet. A wise man? You said that. Here. Last week. I can hear Min's lip curl with distaste. From across the bar, Leander clears his throat and continues. Unperturbed. And I'm not going to read that ever again. Let's toast to Degenerate's health. Care to join in, Doctor? Karas politely declines with a wave of his hand. How about you, Min? No. Are you? No. A resounding pop pierces the din of the bar. We all turn to the direction of the noise. Veer looks almost bashful as he accepts an overflowing flute from the bartender. Poured from a bottle so old its label has been worn blank. They serve champagne here since when? Veer pauses in the middle of licking champagne foam from his fingers with a coy smile. You don't mind, do you? in a transformation as impressive as his magic trick. The concern on Leander's face vanishes. He laughs softly. No, be my guest. I know you've got expensive taste. Then he shoots the bartender a frantic look. Unbothered or uninterested in his company, Iys chants his head. What? Iys cants his head at me, a light smile on his lips. How about you, Sparrow? I did say I'd buy you a drink earlier. No, my treat. Iys regards Leander over the lip of his glass. In the dim light, the glint of his crimson eyes look downright dangerous. What'll it be, degenerate? I'm not old enough to drink. I am only 20, but I will be 21 in like 3 weeks. But we're not exactly this person, so we can be anybody we want. So we're gonna take the drink. I'll take you up on that drink, as long as it's not one of those green shots. Don't knock them till you've tried them. They taste better than they look. Somehow I doubt that, but I hold my tongue long enough for Leander to go behind the bar. He's lying, isn't he? When I glance at Iys, he only shrugs. Like I said, they were chewy. Probably poison too. But I guess it wouldn't hurt you because you're like, probably immortal or something. He considers his own drink a tumbler of amber-colored whiskey. Leander's tried to kill me a dozen times by now. It's almost a gamble. It's always a gamble, I'm sorry. Veer clicks his tongue in disapproval. When he finally looks my way, it's with a half-lidded gaze, softened by his third glass of champagne. Were I you, I wouldn't let Leander put anything in my mouth. Please don't say anything. Please don't say anything. He fans his fingers over his chest, voice dripping with fake reverence. The Wet Wick is one of the finest drinking establishments in all of Iridia. While you're here, you may as well partake of the signature watered-down drinks and stale nut leather. He sweeps his hand toward a chipped ceramic bowl filled with spindly speckled jerky that I can only assume is nut leather. What the fuck is nut leather? What is with the food in this city? As abysmal as you make it sound, this place is completely packed. It's not all bad. Depending on the day, the food's edible. Iys takes a measured sip of his drink. Gotta stick around for the real attractions, though. Before I can ask what he means, Leander returns to a tumbler, and he sets in front of me. Oops. Uneven chunks of ice bob in the pool of reddish-purple alcohol. This dude is gonna poison me. I eye the drink suspiciously. It better not be another disgusting concoction of Leander's. Relax, it's just the local specialty, plum gin. Although if you're feeling more adventurous, I shake my head. Leander raps his knuckles against the bar until the group falls silent. Alright everyone, let's toast. May degenerates stay in Iridia be full of bright adventures and discoveries. Cheers. Clink! Clink! Leander, Iys, and Veer raise their glasses in unison. Min only crosses their arms, and Karas watches with polite indifference. I tip back my drink. The plum gin is eye-wateringly strong. Despite a sharp medicinal edge, it goes down smooth. One sip softens the edge of my vision. The next fades the din of the crowded bar into a low, persistent murmur. I find myself unwinding for what feels like the first time in years. Hello? Aren't you a popular one, degenerate? I'm guessing you met Karas first? Did. Because he told me to go to you. It would be more accurate to say that I found them. You did. He did. We're destined for each other. He saved my life. I merely performed my duty as a doctor. Although I must admit I was confused when I woke up missing all my clothes. Uh-oh. Leander makes a choked noise. Somewhere behind him, Min sighs. It's not what you think. The general was in a grave condition. I could hardly treat such injuries through tattered clothes. The silence that follows stretches uncomfortably long. I look away, unable to face Karas's disappointment and catch Veer snickering behind his hand. Thought that was real fucking funny, didn't he? That's my cue to change the topic. Karas isn't the only one who saved me today. Don't you listen? I didn't save you. You were simply there. That's Min for you. Leander reaches for Min, but they duck under his arm with practiced ease, without so much as looking his way. As reliable as they are moody. You're one to talk, considering you neglected to warn them to stay off the streets at night. Oh, I might have gotten a little distracted. Touching me, that is. Min's only response is a short breath. At any rate, I never got a chance to thank you, Min. Don't. The less Soulless alive, the better. For a heartbeat, Min's eyes flick towards Iys, and their lip twists. Iys is too busy nodding along to Veer's enthusiastic pantomime of stabbing to notice. Lost, no doubt, in an enthralling discussion. I've had enough of this hellhole. Let's go. Min and Karas share a brief look, then the doctor speaks up. Very well, but there is something that I must discuss with Leander if you'll excuse us, degenerate. No, I should be there. I should be there. And just like that, the three of them depart, leaving me alone to savor my gin in silence. Or so I think until I hear a voice so soft and low it's practically a purr. Lost your tour guide? You're not funny. Like, you think you're a comedian, but you're not. I turn to find Crimson and Pink Eyes trained on me. It's not lost on me that they choose the instant the others left to strike. Just my luck. I had to be abandoned with the two most irritating people I've met all day. Monsters or not, there's no telling what I'll do if either of them push me again. Don't tell me Leander already snuck off to get his knob slobbered out back. Oh my goodness. This one is different. He's got business with Karas and Min. Two of one business, huh? Isn't he lucky? I can't tell if it's the champagne or the company, but Veer has grown noticeably more relaxed. He sits with his chin propped on the back of his hand. His ears twitch whenever a hiccup snakes his shoulders. Why are you so far away? Come join us. He pats the empty bar stool beside Iys, but I hesitate. The smile Veer wears is sweet and distinctly sly, and with drinks in the mix, I dread how he and Iys will mess with me next. We don't bite. I bet you do though. I'm not sure about that. Just hours ago he tried to rob me and you threatened me. Me? Steal? Surely you must be mistaken. You sure it was me? Yes, it was you. And then you had the gall to kick me out just so you could go drinking. He gives another one of his shrugs. I was lonely. Yo, all of them are different. A simpler answer than I expected, but I guess I can't fault him for that. Veer suddenly slumps forward, gossamer sleeves pulling where he rests his elbows on his knees. Iys sets his hand on Veer's waist, narrowly preventing him from tipping off the counter. How about we start fresh, Begin with proper introductions. Get off on the right foot and whatnot. I'll start. The name's Veer, hunter extraordinaire. Okay. Veer's right hand flutters to his chest, and he bows his head, flinching when hair falls to his eyes. Iys doesn't say anything, so I suppose it's my turn now. You already know my name. I think being cheeky with these two is the best. Like, this is the best course of action. Just sarcasm, like, blatant distaste for them. Yeah, they like the ones that play hard to get. So, I'm certain you already know my name. Hard not to when Leander shouts it every other second. Are you jealous that he likes me? Veer tips back his head and drains the rest of his champagne. It's a pleasure to formally meet you, degenerate. He says my name slowly and deliberately, savoring every syllable. A tingle jumps down my spine. I quickly turn my gaze. Iys smirks at my reaction over the rim of his glass. These two are gonna be so fun to interact with. So fun. They're giving off the whole tag teaming thing.
Huh?
It's, something. Is something funny? No. I open my mouth and close it as quickly. They want me to react, goading me into another ridiculous game. Yeah, they're one of them. While their sharp cat-like eyes keep me on edge, something about this tension is fun. I didn't want to admit it. I didn't want to admit it. But of course, the character does it for me. Yes, I will admit it, okay? It's fun. Okay? I'm already imagining different ways to interact with them. It must be the gin. I don't know. I bet if I was drinking water, I'd feel the same way. A flash of white over Iys' shoulder catches my eye. Across the bar, Karas heads for the door. I don't see Leander or Min, but it feels wrong to let him leave without saying goodbye. Yeah, say goodbye. Go. Now. Run. I'll be back. Veer hums and wags his fingers at me as I leave. A fruity wave. That little fruity wave. I slip through the crowd, careful not to touch anyone, but just as I'm nearing Karas... What? I don't even think it warranted that type of reaction, though. I stagger, shoulder checked by a man with a neck thicker than both my thighs. Damn! My thighs are thick, too, like, what? He stares down at me, nostrils flaring. Out of my way, shit stain. Who the fuck are you talking to? Definitely not me. I got hella niggas in my pocket right now. You just crossed the wrong bitch. My words spill out on their own. You watch it. I regret them as soon as they leave my mouth. That fucking gin. Yeah, blame the alcohol. The roughneck wheels around, shoving a bloodhound out of the way so he can close in on me. What did you say? He shoves me backwards, sending me stumbling to the sticky floor. Ooh, sticky. I need to polish these floors. I'm fine, but my heart leaps into my throat when I see a roughneck bearing down on me. You trying to start something here? The roughneck freezes, his fist cocked back. A group of bloodhounds called by the commotion circling him, sizing him up. For what feels like an agonizingly long moment, the roughneck looks from me to the bloodhounds. Finally, he sniffs and spits on the floor next to me. The lob narrowly misses my cheek. That's disgusting. I hate when people spit on the floor, like in public. I look at them with such disdain. It's horrendous to see. They just snort and then they spit on the ground. It's disgusting. Just blow your nose. Like, come on now. Be cleaner, please. The earth is already dirty enough as it is. Screw it. Too many freaks in this circus tonight. He turns his back on me and comes face to face with Iys. A dangerous smile spreads across his face. You'll do. What happens next is a blur. Iys' fist crashes into the roughneck's jaw, causing an eruption of gasps, shouts, and even cheers around us. I scramble to my feet right as the frantic crowd swarms around me, cutting off my sight of everything and everyone. Through the ruckus, I hear Leander shouting, Hey, Iys, take it outside. Take it outside. Ignore them, everyone. Look, drinks are on me. This guy has money. He's constantly giving people drinks. The wick erupts with hoots and hollers. The ring around me disperses as bloodhounds and onlookers rush towards the bar. They just... another round. Through the thinning crowd, I catch glimpses of familiar faces. Iys vanishes out the back, dragging the roughneck behind him. Kuros lingers near the door, searching, I suspect, for any wounded before he departs. That's the doctor for ya. Min draws their hood up, tight as they slip out the side door, while Veer leans over the counter to swipe a glass of wine from behind the bar. Thief. And Leander, seated at the opposite end of the bar, gestures dramatically and apologetically to the bartender. In the space of a heartbeat, I realize that there's no telling when or if I'll see any of them ever again. Oh no, we gotta choose? Whoever I pursue may be the last person I get to speak to tonight. I follow...
Okay.
We're gonna go to Kuros. Go! Okay. Hot on Kuros's heels, I squeeze my way out of the bar. Of everyone I've met, he seems the most likely to help me, and the least likely to murder me on a whim. That's true. Earlier this morning, he said I could go to the clinic for help whenever I needed it. Time to see if that promise was actually worth anything. I breathe a sigh of relief once I'm free of the crowded bar. Kuros, hearing me, turns my way. Degenerate, you seem upset. I take it the Amaryllis district is not your liking? If nothing else, it's widely different from the secluded temple where I spent most of my days. That's not why I stepped out. It's because I like you. You're not in need of any treatment after that fall, are you? That might be. You just gotta find out. You gotta find out, my gay. I scowl up at him, and he holds out his hands in a mollifying gesture. I apologize, Degenerate. Please continue. About time. What? Someone cuts right across me toward Kuros, stopping us both in the middle of the street. Even in the dim pink haze that seems to blanket everything, there's no mistaking the pressed white uniform and stiffly starched hat. Another Cenobium cleric. I hastily step back, making myself as inconspicuous as possible. Can I help you? Nervous onlookers hastily part around Kuros and the cleric. The two form an island of white in a sea of teeming color. Enough. You know why I'm here. And I hope you find this deafening? I don't know what that says. Kuros reaches into his coat and produces 3 tiny glass vials bound together with the thick leather cord. A silvery powder shimmers inside. He gently flicks the glass, watching the contents swirl, and extends the vitals to the cleric. This is it? They look extremely unimpressed. Appearances can be deceiving. He throws me a glance and a swift smile, but I'm too surprised to respond. Kuros was the first to warn me about the Cenobium. Nobody I met had anything good to say about them. And yet here he is openly dealing with them in the Amaryllis district. I glance between Kuros and the cleric, who seems to notice me for the very first time. I'm dumb. Good night. They bow to Karas, offer me an extremely perfunctory nod, and disappear into the seething crowd. Degenerate, there's something amiss. What was that about? Yeah, what was that about? Oh, your voice. It is of little consequence. That's all you have to say after the earful you gave me about the cenobium? Shh, be calm. He holds one finger to his lips, which suddenly curl in a cat-like smile. For now, please join me on a short stroll. I will do anything with you. Literally, I don't even care. We could be committing an atrocious crime, and I will go with it. Karas's golden eyes twinkle in the low light. He beckons me away from the main thoroughfare, down a side street filled with vendors hawking late-night snacks. What? Wait! Now powerfully curious, in spite of myself, I hurry after Karas. Each of his long, gracious... I'm sorry, I said gracious. Each of his long, graceful strides is easily two of mine. I catch a glimpse of his gleaming white coat disappearing around the corner of the street. The moment I catch up, the delicious scent of freshly baked goods flood my nose. My stomach gives a loud rumble. One honey pistachio cookie, please. Coming right up! Without breaking his swift pace, Karas plucks the sticky confection out of the merchant's hand and offers it to me. The heavenly smell makes my stomach rumble once more. I take a bite without hesitation. Karas watches me with an indulgent smile, and I notice he hasn't gotten anything for himself. You're not hungry? You need not concern yourself with me. He stops mid-sentence, his eyes darting back the way we came. The hair sticks up on the back of my neck. I turn just enough to peek over my shoulder, hoping I don't look too suspicious. Sure enough, it's the same cleric who waylaid us in the street, now wearing a thunderously angry expression. Uh-oh. Well, disappointment can be a learning experience. Glimmers of realization dawn over me as I stare up at him. What exactly was in those vials? Perhaps a rare and potent alchemical catalyst, or some stale fish skin. The two do resemble one another, and it can be hard to tell them apart. Is he serious? I chance another glance at the cleric, who's now trying to elbow their way between the food stalls. A few people make their way, but most don't even notice their efforts. The street is far too crowded with hungry patrons. Shall we? Without even waiting for a response from me, he glides swiftly into the crowd once more. This is cute. I like this. Is there a point to all this? Is there a point to all this running around? In addition to my personal amusement, I suppose I would like to show you the sights. He is serious. Or seriously fucking with me. I'm not sure which. My disquiet must show, because Karas's smile softens a bit. As I said, you have nothing to fear. He's funny. He's a little jokester. He ducks into what looks like an abandoned doorway but opens into a small covered market. The stalls here are full of more spices than I knew existed. Even taking a short breath makes me sneeze. Karas slows his pace, occasionally pausing to examine the insistent hawker's wares. Wait. He looks up from a display of vivid red leaves, each as long as my forearm. You said I have nothing to fear, but everyone in Iridia seems wary of the cenobium. People fear the obvious trappings of power, wealth, force, or a hideously ostentatious tower. For my part, I find such trappings merely disappointing. The Cenobium once had great potential. They squandered it decades ago in the pursuit of trinkets, pleasure, and petty tyranny. Their narrow prosaic interests have rendered them blind to all else that moves. I think that's the most I've ever heard Karas say on any topic. You sound like you know them well. Karas lets out a long, low sigh. You miss, little degenerate. Familiarity breeds contempt, and I am more familiar with the Cenobium's crude methods than I would like. Now I'm getting somewhere. Something beyond vague warnings or swift deflections. I decide to press the topic while I have the chance. Familiar how? Karas stops right in front of a display of pickled fruits, and I nearly run into his back. He steps aside at the last moment, his arm rests gently but firmly on my waist. I tense, but he's careful to avoid my bandaged hands. Our pursuer refuses to take no for an answer. Them again? I thought we'd lost them in the crowd. I crane my neck to look for the cleric, but Karas shakes his head. This way. We are just on a wild goose chase. This is nice. Very nice. The next street over seems to be home to the high-end brothels. It's whoa! It's full of steep stairways and shadowy passages, perfect for discreet trysts or losing a persistent tail. Pink curtains and painted facades sprawl around me like a giant. Colorful wearing. It only takes a few more twists and turns down blind alleyways and narrow walkways before I'm completely turned around. Karas, however, seems to be following some map of his own mind. He takes each turn with swift confidence, guiding me with the occasional nudge. The gaps between teetering buildings can hardly be called alleyways, so narrow we have to pass through single file. Just a little further. The effortless grace which he moves is almost infuriating. It takes every ounce of concentration I have to avoid tripping over loose tiles, discarded clothes, and unidentifiable rubbish. Meanwhile, his long legs almost seem to float over every obstacle. His clothes are still completely pristine despite the snoot-stained walls on either side. How the hell does he do it? I'm still trying to puzzle it out when I realize how warm it is, with me practically tripping on his heels. The silly gap between us seems to radiate heat, like beating midday sun on the longest day of summer. So are you serious? Is this even a choice? We're gonna stay close. I definitely don't want to get lost here. I stay as close to Karas as I can without actually touching him. I promise I will not lose you. Romantic. How romantic. Was I that obvious? Our eyes meet, and despite my best efforts, I find it hard to hold his gaze. Those golden ice and hot pins and needles racing along my spine. It's not unpleasant, but I've never felt anything like it before. Thank you for indulging me, degenerate. I believe we have lost our tail. Hopefully. I'm trying to get real dirty in these alleys. I'm kidding, of course. I'm kidding. I am kidding. It's much quieter on the edges of the Amaryllis district, and the deals in the shadows look shadier. Did you enjoy your impromptu tour? Relief escapes me in a tired laugh. After the day I've had, playing keep away from the Cenobium cleric seems almost normal. I wasn't in mortal peril, so that's a nice change of pace. He laughs too, a soft and pleasant chuckle completely at odds with his usual cool demeanor. Are you sure we've lost that cleric? If there's one thing you can count on, it is the elitism of the Cenobium's finest. They will not deign to follow us this far. He sounds confident enough. I was starting to wonder if we'd have to make a full circuit of the city to ditch him. Them. A beam of moonlight cuts through the clouds, casting his face into sharp relief. However, I should escort you back to your lodgings. It would be unwise to let you go alone. What about you? Are you staying at the Wet Wick? Of course not. Then you're going back to your clinic alone? You just said that was a bad idea. He pauses, stares at me, then his expression relaxes into a gentle smile. Fear not, degenerate. Only the most desperate or foolish would dare lay a hand on me. I guess I'm desperate. It sounds insane after 2 near-death Soulless encounters, but part of me believes him. The few people who are still out huddled beneath street lamps and in doorways, desperate to be as close to safety as possible. Karas, on the other hand, looks more relaxed than I've ever seen him. He's strolling down the middle of the street, bold as if it were broad daylight. Even walking alongside him makes me feel more secure, warmer, both inside and out. I hang on to that faint spark of hope and screw up my courage. Did you mean it this morning when you said I could come back to you for help? Every word. All his earlier mirth vanishes, replaced by calm focus. I don't know what to say to that. I almost expected his offer to be a courtesy, an easy way to get me out the door. The fact that he meant it. Why do you ask? I believe I've already made my intention to help you quite clear. His eyes flick briefly into my arm, the one that he miraculously reattached when he found me. I could almost imagine him counting the neat stitches. I just wanted to make certain. I'm still figuring out who's trustworthy and who's trouble. You see, Iridia does tend to attract extreme individuals, including you. Ah, degenerate. I decline to incriminate myself in your eyes. In my eyes? So it matters how you look to me? Interesting. I can recognize a smooth deflection when I hear one, though. If he won't talk more about himself, maybe he'll tell me about someone else. I decide to ask about... Why? You know what I might do, actually? I think my best course of action would be to ask him about Veer, since he doesn't like him. We know a lot about Leander. We know that he's, pretty flamboyant. He's well known in the streets. Iys, I'm not even gonna get into him. He's not much right now to me. And him and Min seem to be friends, but not really. So I want to know about Veer, because he didn't talk to him at all when we were all in the bar. So we're gonna ask about Veer. How do you know Veer? Uh-oh. Karas visibly stiffens, and I remember the venom in Veer's voice when he grabbed me. That doctor. Yeah, he doesn't like him. It looks like the feeling is very much mutual. Regrettably, Veer is one of my worst patients. How did you cross his path? He stole my room key. You were fortunate that he did nothing else. He is far deadlier than he seems. There is a reason he is not at liberty, a reason for the collar and chain. He seemed pretty dodgy to me already. I hesitate, waiting for Karas to elaborate, but he seems to find even the thought of Veer distasteful. Damn! I wanted to know more, but okay. Iys, let's do that one. He's a mystery. Have you ever been out to see Iys at the sea spring? Once. Only once? Seems like a spring with miraculous powers would interest a doctor. A long silence follows, so long that I'm not sure Karas heard me. I'm about to repeat myself when he finally speaks in a near whisper. Iys is a rare newcomer who has proven himself immediately worthy of respect. The sea spring is another matter. Hidden depths often contain unwelcome secrets. You can say that about anything around here. A fair point. Nonetheless, I have seen many purported wanderers, and the sea spring is unlike any other. Only time will tell what that means. That sucks. Okay, let's ask about Min. You and Min sounded like you knew each other well. Karas heaves a long-suffering sigh. I know them better than most, and less well than I would like. Like you, Min is a recent arrival. Their time here has been particularly difficult, as much as I would like to help. He trails off, but I know exactly what he's talking about. Min didn't seem like the sort of person who would accept help easily. Do they always pick fights that are twice their size? I have implored them not to. They rarely listen. This information is nothing to me. Like, it's so vague. Why did you send me to Leander for help? Few know Iridia better than Leander. The company he keeps can be questionable, but I had confidence in him. You were very confident then. He is a good guy. I will say so myself. Yet his bloodhounds seem rough around the edges. Leander has always preferred the company of those like him, survivors of Lowtown's harsh realities. You must have noticed how they flocked him. I nod. He seemed to know every single person in the Wet Wick. And that's a good thing. Leander's closest peers trust him with their lives. I would say that counts for something. With my curiosity sated for now, I fall silent. I wish Karas had given me just a little more to go on, but he seems also almost as tight-lipped about others as he is about himself. By the time we're back in the Wet Wick, the Amaryllis district seems even noisier and more recautious than before. Drunken patrons overflow in the streets, which reek of spilt wine. How am I supposed to sleep with all this racket? I suggest the stiffest drink at the bar. Alternatively, a ball of wax. Very funny. Even with how tired I am, I'm not sure I'll get a wink of sleep. I'm about to say goodnight to Karas when someone staggers out of the Wet Wick and right into me. Come on. Everyone is just out to get me, yo. I stumble back, heels teetering on the edge of a filthy gutter. Degenerate? The next thing I know, a pair of warm arms catch me around my... Never mind. I'm so grateful for the person who bumped into me. I find myself staring up at Karas as Karas, pressed against his chest, his grasp loosens, and he doesn't quite let me go. Something shifts his gaze, his eyes fix on my face, and I feel myself growing hot all over at his intense scrutiny. What does he see in me? What's he looking for? Karas? Ah, my apologies. Don't apologize, lover. Don't apologize. Even after he moves away, the warmth of his touch lingers through my clothes. I quickly tug my cloak straight, trying to recollect my scattered thoughts. Good night. Oh, that's me talking, I apologize. Good night. Thank you for everything today. You are most welcome. Stay. He turns and slips into the crowd, though I can pick out his pristine white coat with ease. A chilly gust howls down the street. When did it get so cold out? Choose your fate. What does that even mean? I'm gonna scale them right now, right? Based off of how, like, you know, the whole thing. He's number one. I'm sorry for the people who don't like him that much, but number one right here. Now, it's hard to pick a number two. I'm kidding, it's Leander. Number 2 is Leander. Number 3 is Veer. Right now, number 4, Iys. I'm surprised that they make us choose. I thought our choices led us to whoever, like in like Dramatical Murder. But like, this is definitely different. We're obviously going to choose this one. Like, no doubt about it. Karas, the repentant angel? Angel? From all appearances, Karas is a principal doctor of extraordinary skill, but you know little about the man beneath the professional mask, and Karas keeps even his friends at a cool distance. If you uncover the deepest secrets, will you like what you find? So, wow. Just wow. Thank you for playing. For more TouchStarved, visit links below. Why did I save it? But yeah, that was that was TouchStarved. My honest opinion, I actually really like it, and like, it's beautiful. Like, I mean, look at him. What are you gonna do? You gonna not play the game? If anyone is gonna play the game, it's gonna be for him.